It's my pleasure today to, as President of the Communication Workers of America, Local 1298, to endorse a person who I feel is going to make a great contribution to our country and has already done so as a congressman and shown that he's willing to stand up for the people and understands the issues of working people across this state of Connecticut. And Chris Murphy is a person who's always picked up the telephone when we called him and has always been there to answer the call when we have a fight or where we're dealing with AT&T and keeping jobs and people working in Connecticut. These are issues that we deal with daily, and I'm sure Chris is going to be even a louder spokesman for these issues when he's elected as our senator. It's an honor to have Chris here this afternoon to represent a representative of the people of the state of Connecticut and to be part of that new wave that's going to push Chris into office. So Chris has always stood for keeping it made in America, America's dream, and the dream is that we're going to have a better America when Chris Murphy is elected. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Chris Murphy, our next senator.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, listen, thank you very much to all of my friends here for this wonderful endorsement. This means the world to me because the people standing behind me and on all sides of me today and all of the workers you represent the present and the future of Connecticut. You represent the present because you're fighting for jobs. You're fighting for every last job available for your members and for the citizens of this state. And first and foremost, that's what we need right now. Our economy cannot get restarted unless we invest not just in job creation, but in real job creation with living wages and real pension benefits and real health care benefits. And there is no organization in the state of Connecticut who, over the last several years, who has had more fights, who has been more out front in this state than CWA has when it comes to creating real jobs with real wages and real benefits. And so you are all about the present in Connecticut. You are fighting for every single last job for your members, but you are also about the future. And Bill and I were just talking about this as we walked in. The work that your members are doing to build a new platform of information technology, of connectivity in this state is about the state's future as well. You know, listen, we are never going to be the cheapest place to make something, whether it be in Connecticut or in the United States, but we can be the most connected. We can be the most technologically advanced state and country in the world. And the work that CWA members are doing right now out in the field to connect our businesses and our schools and our government centers to make sure that we have the highest speeds with respect to connectivity in the nation, you are really representing what the future of this state is going to be. You're making this country and this state economically competitive. And I've been proud to stand with you. Bill and I probably talk more than I talk to some of my family members, and that's because your fight is my fight. When you're fighting to stop layoffs at AT&T, that's my fight. When you're fighting to maintain real wages and real benefits in your contract negotiations with AT&T, that's my fight as well. And when you're standing up for the middle class, that's my fight as well. And that's really why I'm running for the United States Senate. That's why the moral authority of your endorsement means maybe more than the political weight of your endorsement. Because here's what I believe, and I know in talking to Bill and talking to Rich and talking to a lot of people standing here today that you feel the same thing, that we are right now engaged in a fight for the middle class like we've never seen before in this country. We're going to make a decision over the next 5 years in Washington as to whether we want a middle class or whether we're just going to slip into an economic world where we got 5% haves who are doing really, really well and 95% have-nots. And that is not inevitable. That slippage into a world of a few haves and a lot of have-nots, that is not inevitable. We can change that if we make the right decisions in Washington. If we invest powers in the National Labor Relations Board, if we make sure that it's a functioning organization, as the President has done this week, if we make sure that unions have a fair shot to organize and keep workers organized, well, that's the way that we can stand up for the middle class. There's no coincidence that as the number of people who are members of unions have shrunk, so has the middle class. The history of the strength of our middle class is rooted and connected to the history of labor and the strength of organized labor. So I'm proud this week to have seen the President stand up and appoint 3 new members to the NLRB. I'm proud that he's moving forward with rules that are going to make the process of organizing more streamlined. Supporting labor means supporting the middle class. It means standing up for education, standing up for training and retraining, not thinking that this economy is going to get better by having the government retreat from its historic commitment to education, from its historic commitment to getting more kids through college, more kids through graduate school, more students into training and retraining programs. We got to stand up for education. That's standing up for the middle class. We got to fight to make things and do things here in the United States of America. You know, my grandfather and great-grandfather worked for Fafner Bearing in New Britain. You remember Fafner Ball Bearing up in New Britain, right? Well, it doesn't exist any longer, but as went Fafner and Stanley and American Brass, so went all of those jobs. We got to make a commitment, again, to making things in the United States in America. We got to have strong Made in America laws. We've got to have fair trade agreements, and we have to extend those protections not just to manufacturing but to services as well. Why is it that we're giving tax breaks to big telecommunications companies that are then taking those tax breaks and using that money to ship jobs overseas? Why is that okay? Why should we be subsidizing outsourcing? Whether it's for a good that's produced by a manufacturing company or a service provided by a major American company that gets a lot of business from the United States of America, the federal government, and state governments. We got to stand up against outsourcing and use the bully pulpit of the federal government to fight that fight. And that's a fight that I know we're working on together. There are a multitude of ways in which we can win this battle for your members and for the middle class, and why the moral authority of CWA's endorsement is so important to me today is that you don't just go and advocate and argue for the narrow issues that might be exclusive to communications workers. I see it in Washington, I saw it in Hartford. You use your power to go fight for middle class issues that are going to support your members and lots of other people who are in similar situations. That's why CWA is so strong. That's why your endorsement is so sought after when candidates are running for statewide office, and that's why, to me, this day is one of the most important days in our campaign, because I know the political support that comes with your endorsement. I know the fact that your vouching for my candidacy is likely going to add a lot of political strength to our operation, but I also know that when I go around this state and say that I have the endorsement of the communications workers on behalf of all of the middle class issues you work on, that lends an enormous moral strength to our campaign in a variety of ways. I'm looking forward to building a really strong organization with you. I'm looking forward to continuing to stand with you in your fight for good jobs, in your fight for good pay, and for good benefits. And I think in the end we're going to win an election in November. We may get outspent. We may get outspent 10 to 1, 100 to 1, but the ground operation, the grassroots operation that we can put together will greatly outweigh the money disadvantage we may be at. After we win that election, we're going to go down to Washington and we're going to win this battle for your members and for the middle class. That's, in the end, why we run these elections. We don't run elections, we don't organize together just to put a number up on the board on Election Day in November. We run these elections so that we can win the ultimate fight in the halls of Congress, in the halls of the state legislature. That's what you guys are all about, and that's what I'm all about. This is a great, great day. I'm so, so proud to have CWA's endorsement. Bill, thank you to you, thank you to your board, thank you to all of your members for standing with me today. You can guarantee that I'm going to be standing with you this year and every year after. Thank you very much, everybody.